drums to life, and it floats next to your side. Its grav plates clicking a few times as it begins to orient itself in the space next to you. You can see data already running across its green oculies, and it begins to chitter a bit as ink squills inside of its mouth begin to churn out reams of paper. On it, you see different prayers to the Messiah getting to churn out before it stops, and you can see on the end of this reel of paper, waiting input. It hums and stares right in front of you, Extaas.
I'm going to take a minute to bless it in the name of the Holy God Emperor. Caw-caw. And yeah, that not like as a move to power it up or anything, just in character. Want to make sure we give it the old may the Holy God Emperor send you on your way.
Extaas, the green lights where Extaas's eyes should be kind of roll up and then back down, and he reaches into his side at one of those little pouches like that masseuses wear and squirts oil into his hands and massages the skull. And in
when
binary,
they talk about anointing with holy machine oil, I've always I've never thought of it as that, but from now on, I'm just going to see the masseuse with the little belt thing and
yeah, it's 100% that.
Down.
Yeah, and just kind of chants in binary. While still chanting in binary, a secondary voice, kind of like a Mongolian throat singing situation. Do we have a plan for what we should use our new tool for?
Yeah, our Inquisition agent, I'm sure, remembers the information from the slate, and if not, I can tell it what we're looking for, where the package, so to speak, is located.
I do. I will try to remember as much of the information from the slate as possible, because I'm sure by this time the slate is already self-destructed and my saved game of Angry Birds is already gone.
You were so far, you had most levels cleared.
I thought so. I thought I was doing really good.
Do you pull out the slate to consult it?
I would. Yes, I would pull out the slate to see if it, because I know it had a time limit on it. So
it was 2 lions rampant beside a Aquila over a shield was the family coat of arms. I don't remember the family name though.
It was the Galfradis.
The Galifianakis family?
Yes, the Galifianakis.
When you pull the data slate, you see that whereas the entire service before was full of data, all that's left is just one blinking green block at the very beginning.
So it went to lock
That's
screen.
how Pong starts, right?
Okay. Thumbprint, facial recognition, any of that sort of anything?
No, that thing's wiped now, I think.
Oh, great.
When you fiddle with it, it doesn't seem to change at all, unless you'd like to make a tech roll.
I would love to.
All right, Corvin. So your pool is a whopping 2 dice.
Oh boy.
As he begins to fiddle with it, I look over and again you see the eyes roll up and back down. Would you like a hand?
I would love one, my friend.
My mechanite reaches out and cracks open for him to put the thing in.
I will set it down like it's one of those recharging pads.
Let's see.
Extaas, if you are planning on making the tech roll instead, that is a pool of 7 dice for you.
Yes.
Oh, please.
That's 3 successes, right? 2 5s and a 6.
Well, remember that a 6 is an exalted icon that counts as 2
right.
successes.
So that's 4 successes. And it probably doesn't matter that my wrath die was a 1, so let's just pretend
it
it was.
does.
No, it doesn't matter at all.
Somebody's
Okay.
gonna start tasting burnt sugar.
Y'all smell toast?
So you're able to slip your lectus inside of this data slate, and you begin to manually extract data from it. It begins to surface on the screen itself. It shows very brightly at first, although you feel like there's something is corrupting the innards of this. Like the machine spirit is upset with you. You get the key bits of information that you are looking for: the family Galfredus necropolis. You're looking for their grave because that is where supposedly the Revelator is contained, the Xenos artifact that your interrogator Perdita Mendax has charged you to find. That, and your priest, Baraqel has accurately remembered that their crest of arms are 2 lions rampart, and in the center is the Imperial Aquila. That is where you really need to kind of orient yourself, is to find things that are linked to their heraldry to help navigate this sprawling cemetery to find this complex. Now, since you rolled a 1 on your wrath die, what is an appropriate complication to add spice to the scene? Is the machine spirit is rebelling and maybe infecting something in your electronics? Does something else go awry? What bad thing happens that's interesting, Extaas? Besides your mute function.
I think, I think that the machine spirit has been infected by the personality, the brain of the host that the servo skull was crafted from.
Keep in mind, you were hacking into the data slate.
Oh, the data slate. Sorry. Okay, that is much less fun.
I do like where that's going.
Your robe could catch on fire. That would be funny.
Oh, okay. I have a fun thing that can make this interesting. You see Extaas abruptly begin trying to swipe off of a screen, a la a teenager whose phone got caught in public, as it has uploaded specs from Xenos experiments that Extaas has done in the past, and he is trying to get rid of that before the Inquisitorial agent sees it.
You really don't want the Inquisition seeing that.
Nope. What are you looking at, Extaas? Porn. It's porn.
Yeah, in the Imperium, that's like the equivalent of very illegal pornography.
Yeah.
Now, keep in mind, is that the interesting complication that you are electing to do?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you are doing this in a sacred shrine, production shrine, right next to Amagos, on their intranet, where there are lots of data sniffers and snoopers.
Yeah.
So
that's what makes it a complication, you see.
Oh, that is
definition of
this
complication.
is about to be interesting. Okay. So the first thing that happens
I don't
is
like our odds of surviving, frankly.
I don't know that guy.
I wanted to make sure we could finish this adventure tonight, guys.
Like right now, or
This is one way to do it. I mean, holy shit.
So this is
Yeah.
40K, huh? we are 10 minutes into my second ever time experiencing this world. Never read a book, never painted a miniature. I didn't even know how miniatures work in this. I'm confused.
you're doing great.
It's fine. Don't worry, guys. It's fine.
all right. So
Like,
Shevik,
John just made everyone in the vicinity, plus probably half our party, very angry, is what just happened.
Only if they notice.
Only if they notice.
Do we roll to notice Ian as a party? Is that how this works, or is this a different engine that I don't get to
'Cause
roll? for
that actually is a good point because we don't have new spherics. Like the temple will know or the forge will know, but like we would have to actually see it and recognize it as Xenos. So what do you think, Ian?
Well, that is a interesting proposition. I will accept propositions because the roll to notice is obscenely high that Jevic rolled.
oh, glorious.
All right. So before
Where is my deception skill?
Okay,
Oh,
so
that's not very good.
as you are furiously flipping through your data set, Jevic snaps to attention and you hear the loud grinding sounds of his Acolyte focusing on you, including the ones in his face, but also unseen under his robe. For a brief second, you hear a hiccup, a arrhythmia in the tattoo of the machines that are producing servo skull parts and producing the different apparati. Everything kind of comes to a halt for a second. All of the even servitors turn and look at you for a second. There is an odd quiet. It's only about a heartbeat and a half.
That's
and
forever in
the
Mechanicum time.
rest of the machines hum back to life. Everyone make a awareness check.
I got some bad news for you, John.
While we're making this awareness check, I hand the slate back to the Inquisitorial agent. Here, take this back. This is yours, I believe. I say.
Yeah. Thanks.
So if my awareness is a 1, I just roll my funny die.
Okay. So I have 3 successes.
One exalted, one normal. Oh wait, are 4 successes?
Yeah,
All right.
if one
So
of them
as
is
a
exalted, it
breakdown,
counts
when
as
you
4.
roll a d6, a 4 and a 5 is considered to
Yep.
be an icon or a success, and a 6 is an exalted icon that's worth 2 icons or successes. You can also, if you decide that you don't need that exalted icon, you can shift it and turn it into a point of glory
I need it.
or to use it in other kinds of instances. So what was it that you said that you rolled, Yannick?
I'm
Which one of us
Yannick.
is? Yeah.
Yes, you are.
Look, it's been about a month since I sat here and looked at this character sheet. I had to look for whatever it was I just rolled. I have a 4, so I got 1 success
Okay.
on my 1 die.
Observe how I utilize these
You have-
rolls.
Real quick, you have 2 dice, by the way.
I have 2. I get to roll another one.
That's correct. If you look at the total column, that includes your stat and your skill value.
Well, then let me
Okay.
roll back. Okay, yeah,
and-
you're right. I do have 2. So that's 2 4s.
Fantastic. So that is 2
successes, yeah.
icons. What were you saying, Durath?
Are you calling me by my emperor name? You should call me by my full title. Come on, call me
do you-
Daddy. Father Baraqel. Anyway,
Father Baraqel.
I was gonna use my own roll as a tutorial. So I rolled a 4, a 5, and a 6. So that's technically 4 successes because one of them is an exalted icon. However, because I don't necessarily want to have to burn John at the stake, I'm going to convert one of those successes into a shared glory icon. So that counts as 3
Great.
successes for me.
I have my lie ready, by the way. So don't
And
worry
we now
about
have
me.
one point in the collective pool, I think. 1 die.
That's correct. So you'd have
Yeah.
1 point of glory.
So any one of you can draw on that 1 die if you need an extra 1 to succeed on any roll. You're welcome, and may the God Emperor bless you.
Okay. So nothing immediately seems to happen, Extaas. There's just, you notice that everyone's kind of giving you weird looks, but No alarms are immediately. Wait, how many successes did you say you had, Exus? Okay.
4, sir.
Nothing to normal senses are ringing. There are no alarms summoning guards, although you hear within the noosphere in general, this localized net, that there are very high security klaxons that are wailing within the net. There are some machine spirits that are sobbing in distant alcoves somewhere far beyond here that are relaying messages to someone. You're not sure. You just are very well aware that the messages that are being sent are heavily encrypted.
Probably all the
This
way to
is
Mars,
fine.
you fucking dipshit.
This is fine. Everything's fine.
So Javik,
I love what John did so much. This is great. Okay, go on.
Javik just looks coolly at you and says, "I must return to my work." And as he turns, he blurts two various forms of binaric insults. Some of it are it makes some of the servitors themselves blush, and those things have been mind wiped. So the server skull next to you just still kind of bobs up and down, seemingly unfazed by all of this. You see in the distance there are some they're not necessarily overtly combat servitors, but some type of defense servitors that are just glaring from you from hidden shadowy alcoves, and you know that maybe you're not very welcome here at the moment. Beyond the manufactorum, you can hear the sounds of the rain picking up, making even a more mournful squall.
I recommend that we head out now.
It seems like a good
Colon,
idea.
concern.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yep.
You know, I was skeptical until you said concern. Now I know you care. Thank you.
I don't know if he cares though.
Then we
where-
should stay.
Mausoleum possibly, or
Yeah.
When you step back outside, if I make reorient us to time and space, you are in this. The place that you're coming out of is on the east side of this relative area that you came out from. You were dumped unceremoniously from the body of this ship into a courtyard. To the south of you is where the kind of large spiraling, or I guess more like the squat building is that looks like a library. To the north of you is the spiraling cathedral. To the west is where it gets a little bit more downgraded. You see squalid hab blocks, something that looks like a market, a little bit more of a hub for the masses. All around you is more of a sanctified place with more cathedral and more somber-like bearing.
I feel like I shouldn't make any more decisions for the group.
We're all still alive. You're doing fine. Yeah, like Kev said.
Yeah. Let's see.
market for intel, or do we just head straight for like the mausoleum area?
I would head straight for the mausoleum area. We've got a description. We've got a servo skull.
Mm-hmm.
We got the tools. We got the talent.
We do.
Yeah, I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
Okay.
Except
Are
for the
you-
machine spirits. Those you should be scared of.
Well, damn it.
When you're saying that you're wanting to head more towards the mausoleums, beyond this blip of humanity are just sprawling necropolis. You could just wander into these wilds and do research on the fly to get bearing, but it is very much like you are wandering into a very large moon-sized cemetery and you're trying to find one specific building. I'm not saying that's impossible. I'm just letting you know. I'm asking, is that your Are you relying on the service skull, or are you doing anything else before you wander into those wilds?
I would say that for an entire moon, it would probably help if we could narrow it down a little more. So let's head into the town where we can, I don't know, bribe and or blow someone to get some information.
Yeah.
Welcome to Wandering Monster, a family show.
Yeah. So the service skull wouldn't have, like, I don't know, some kind of map or information already preloaded into it since it's from here?
No.
Probably not.
Okay, so it's not like an RPG where it's just like, cool, this is your friendly service skull. It'll help you with casting spells, with navigation,
No,
with
from what I
locating
understand,
enemies.
we're putting the information into it. It's there to just basically record everything that we're doing and get gather.
It can also record
scan.
anything in the environment, so we can like send it up and tell it to look for something specific, and then like we could send it up and be like, okay, create a map of this area, and then bring it back down, and then we'd have a map.
Ooh,
Which that's not a bad idea.
I don't.
Well, the
I'm
whole
glad I had
moon,
that
though,
idea.
the whole moon, I'm not sure, because I don't know what the top altitude of a servo skull is or the top speed. That's the problem. Like,
That's
I don't
true.
think they're that fast. They're certainly not as fast as like any kind of craft, you know.
I mean, we could send it up while we're going to the marketplace to get information, and it could map out and then come back to us. Kind of.
So we put some sunglasses and a hat on it so it looks inconspicuous. We tell it go float around, gather some information. Don't tip anybody off that we're not supposed to be here.
No, I don't think we're sending the servo skull into the town for us. I think we're sending it up into the air. Although I love the idea of putting a hat and glasses on it first, like
Let me check
just
my
for
inventory.
shits and giggles.
I mean, there's a bunch of dead bodies. One of them's got to have some glasses, another one's got to have a hat.
That is true too.
All right.
Very good. It's very good.
I'm gonna roll up my sleeves on my big Ministorium robes and get to work looking for a hat and some funny glasses to put on it. In the meantime, actually, let's just pretend I find them. I don't know. Do I have to roll for that, Ian? Really?
Ian, make him roll.
Well, you're
Ian.
on a planet that is a somber place. A Groucho Marx kind of ensemble may be a far stretch. However, there are some very interesting bazaars that could be, they may be something of interest that may
All right.
get
Fuck
you
it.
there.
We'll get a I visited the tomb world and all I got was this hat cap.
Yeah. They're probably selling like plaster saints and stuff if I know 40K, but in fact
gotta
this
be-
cemetery moon probably has its own like saint that's specific to it or whatever, but
You can't tell me that there isn't one dead comedian here that wanted to be buried with this Groucho Marx glasses on.
comedian, not a big profession in the grim darkness of the far future, as it turns out.
Well, that's depressing.
Except for the Harlequins, which are rad. Anyway, yeah, let's head to town and get some intel that way and just take the little guy with us. I like having the servo skull around just because it's friendly. John, what's your character's name?
Extaas.
Extaas. Do you want to give it a name? Or can we name it?
It
Maybe
is.
we
I
should
plug
name
in
it
and I get its serial number, and I then
Designation
found out
Ham
it's like
Fund?
30 number serial number. Its name is XB135877. But if you want to give it a nickname for your weak fleshy bodies to pronounce, that is absolutely fine. Flesh
I
bags.
dubbed the Ham Fund. Yeah, so Ham Fund the servo skull is coming along with us to the bazaar and
Can I
other
float out there
capitalist
Ham Fund
endeavors.
XB?
Yeah, Ham Fund XB. I love it. All right, Ham Fund XB in tow. We hike up our various garments and head for the, like, I guess you could call it the center of town, whatever the most well lit and trafficked area is.
So you move to the Memento Square, and it is very obviously a square because the outline are laid with bones. In fact,
Cool.
the pathways in this area are just inlaid with tons and tons of bones that have
Hell
been
yes.
inlaid into ferrocrete. A lot of them been fractured just by the constant foot travel here. This is a place where all of the heretics that led an uprising in on this moon were crushed, and all of their leaders' bones were collected and dumped here unceremoniously so that all the pious, righteous citizens would constantly trample them underfoot. They are nameless and have gone unremembered. Just like
God Emperor be
so many.
praised.
Absolutely. This square is occupied by a bazaar, lots of like little ramshackle buildings and people hawking wares. There are various things that could pass as bars or establishments for the various grave diggers and bone pickers going in and out of. The largest of these mercantile tents has these bone charms that jangle very loudly in the breeze with the rain pouring down upon them. And there is a woman that is unperturbed by this horrible weather, just shouting at people. Just you hear her hawking her wares, saints' toes, fresh augmentics, and the most powerful prayers to protect you from the hole in the sky. And she points up at the sky, and you know she really means, the Oculus Terribilis or the Great Black Rift and the other terrible things that haunt the spaceways.
So she's not a
Um,
Black Sabbath fan.
Do I have any money? I don't see it in my inventory.
So you don't necessarily have as much in coin in this. You have the ability to requisition. You also do have wealth, which is more of immediate flush resources versus things that your patron can get for you.
Okay, because I need me some of those Saint Toes. And I also think that buttering that woman up by buying her merchandise could help us get some information on the layout of the cemeteries. And I'm a Ministorium priest, so I should have access to Ministorium funds, right?
Yeah, so when you are wanting to buy something, in essence, you are making either an influence check. That's one of the ways that you can do a requisition.
Okay. Yeah.
Or you can also barter as well.
Daddy B. Pardon me, Daddy B. Big Daddy B.
Yes, my son.
I see you eyeing that vendor over there. I want to inform you that their arguments are likely not sanctioned by the Omnissiah, and I have intense internal doubts of the quality of her saintly phalanges.
Oh man,
Colon.
we could get into this
Shit
whole
emoji.
theological. Yeah, we could get into this whole theological thing right here. At this, I just kind of huff and pretend I'm wearing the chasuble, viewers at home, because it was really uncomfortable that went with this hat, and I just kind of toss my robe over one shoulder. And but actually, I don't think I'm gonna do either, because my barter and influence scores are not good. And for wealth, it says 1 out of 1. I don't know what that means.
That's your kind of relative wealth that you have on hand.
So I have all the wealth, 1 out of 1 on hand.
Some people and classes have more that is available to them. It's more like a measure of liquidity.
Okay. How the fuck does a priest have a... Actually, that makes total sense that I have a faith score of 0.
So you could use that to do a bribe. It's relative to what your tier level is.
Okay.
So you can even spend XP to get more just raw wealth to do more things with. So if you want to consider for relative terms, it could be like an icon for a bribe roll or something like that.
Nah, I'm rethinking my whole approach to this lady. Do any of you guys want to have a whack at her?
I think our gas mask wearing friend should have a talk with her.
Our Death Trooper of Krieg?
Yeah.
I resemble one of those guys.
Yes, you do.
All right, so I go up to her, and
Oh, I was talking about the sky.
because he's wearing a gas mask, so that's how he talks.
If I can
right?
make a suggestion, Kevin, you should
Yes.
go over there and translate for him, but make it sound like he is terrifying and threatening her for information.
For a novice, that was a very good Death Troopers of Krieg joke.
It was extremely good.
Yes.
I will walk up beside our death trooper here and be like, "You'll have to excuse my friend. It's really hard to speak with the mask on. As you can see, he is absolutely terrifying. It's out of yes, I know. We'll get you corn dogs after this is all said and done. Okay, we'll get the chili flavored ones. We'll just settle down. We have something to do. Well, this is kind of on the down low, but we're actually looking for something in particular, and we're wondering if you happen to have any sort of information for us. You seem terrified. I understand.
She looks at you. She goes, I know what you're talking about. You have the rash, don't you? Don't worry. There's been plenty of eager men who have gone for easy thrills, and you're not the first. And she pulls out this little pot of grease.
No. The rash is fine. It's actually
Yes, we
actually
have
gives
the
you.
rash.
Okay, well, he may be rashed up. Yeah. What?
The
Okay.
mask chafes. All right.
I know it chafes. That's why we leave it on, because dear God, we don't want to see your face without it.
Oh, smell it. It really holds it in.
The
She goes,
non-faithful are weird.
well, if it falls off because of the rash, I can replace it with augmentics. And she pulls out a box of various implants that have been taken off of various former users. You can tell. You can see these are very roughly used augmentics. Some of them you're pretty sure don't work anymore. And she pulls out a pair of scissors and goes, "I can fix anything."
I'm sure you could, and you look very capable at doing this. I'll kind of flip through like I'm flipping through like records at a record store. Like, oh yeah, that's good. That's nice. That almost has all of his teeth. That's beautiful.
That was the wrong skin color for you.
Well, no, we're looking for you right now because right now either way,
What skin color do you think I am?
we don't know. It's all rashed up. It's red and irritated.
This is not how I saw this going, but I'm so happy.
You put me and Paschke in the front to talk to this. You knew something was going to happen.
For God's sake. All right, I intervene. I wander over, and like not even necessarily associating with these other guys who've been talking to them. Let me see what I can use to my best advantage here.
She goes, "Father, I could replace the hair of yours. Look at this!" And she pulls out a drawer of scalps of various level of being cured. She pulls out a large spool and a needle and goes, "I could fix you real fast."
I bless you, my child, but I need to show off my glorious tattoo, and I show her my Aquila tattoo on the side of my head. However,
She pulls out a scalp that also has the same tattoo. No one can tell.
Almost like it was meant to be.
I'm tempted to let her have a go at it. I'm not sure how many hit points I'd lose, but all right. No, thank you, my child. Actually, I'm interested in those bone charms that you have for sale there. And yeah, I am gonna make a let's see, not influence.
Well, the first off, are you inspecting these bone charms?
Yeah, I'm having a look at them.
Anybody else inspecting the bone charms?
I'm looking to see if she has an original 6 finger.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you want, whoever's going into her hut, her merchant stall, go ahead and roll me an awareness check first off.
All right, you got it.
That is if you're actively looking. If not, then I'll use your passive awareness.
I rolled a 1 on my wrath, and then I have 2 successes.
Okay.
I got a 6 on my wrath, giving me 2 successes.
Do I get to pick my complication?
Well, in a second, let me find out what the others have.
I just got a 6.
Like 6 successes, or you rolled 1?
1 6. So it's two icons.
Correct. Okay. And what about you, Extaas?
Should probably get that mute button fixed.
Yeah.
I'll help him with that.
What if we just got John a foot switch, so whenever he wants to talk, he taps the foot switch,
That'd
and then
be
when he's done talking,
like a
he
tattoo
takes
artist. That'd be great.
Yeah.
I didn't roll because I'm not trying to buy anything. I thought only the people who were trying
I didn't
to buy.
know. Okay. Perfectly fine. So I'm hearing that all of you have gotten at least 2 successes, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had
Okay.
I rolled a 1 on my
Correct,
wrath
on your
die.
raft die.
Yeah.
So all of you noticed hanging out in the back of her stall with all these bone charms on various threads. Like they are bits and pieces of bones, the little odd baubles, like things made of brass, like bent bells or little chimes, little simulacrum of like the Aquila and other things. But there is a you see like there is a old tattered banner of a couple different houses, and one of them is very similar to what your data slate said, looking at the Aquila with 2 lions rampart.
Ah.
Now, what is your complication, Father Baraqel?
In the dim, murky light of this tent, and like with the powerful odor of some sort of probably narcotic incense in my nostrils, I have been convinced that I'm going to get the scalp stitched to my scalp, the one with the Aquila tattoo.
For the scalp.
Nice.
All right. So she.
You know, these complications are supposed to be like small things, and our party is just like little complication, huh? Nuke it.
Yeah, I love a challenge.
She stands up and she pushes all the crap off of the table, just unceremoniously dumped into the pools of muddy water, and taps it for you to lay down.
Yep, I do.
Okay. As you were laying down on the table and she begins to palpate your skull, finding the most tender parts of you to stick her very unlikely unwashed needle,
I hope to
see-
God my companions are interrogating her in the meantime.
you see
Nope.
on her,
Watching.
on her
You can smell the rubber of my mask.
on her belt, there's like a bandolier of bullets and fetishes. In the center, there is a key dangling, and it also has that shield with the 2 lions
Ooh.
and
I'm in a good position
the
to
Aquila.
snatch that motherfucker. Oh, I'm getting
she
my scalp poked.
picks out a scalp. Like she finds various ones, puts it up to your skull, tries to find the one. She finds one that it's a little bit tattered on the sides. Like it looks like some part of the original wearer was burnt a little bit at one point. So some of the hairline is singed, but it's far more hair than you currently have. And it mostly matches your skin color, except for the kind of crispy edges. But it still has your beloved Aquila tattoo on it. And she shows you the scalp for your inspection, just like a sommelier would have you inspect the pork, and then puts her hand out for payment. She goes, how's this? How's this?
I've decided on the skill that I'm going to use to deal with our scalp stitcher here, because it actually happens to be my highest ability, and that would
Good.
be intimidation. Which, having known a couple of priests, I think is makes a lot of sense. So I'm going to roar at her in my most priestly of voices. You know, I am a priest of the Ministorium of the God Emperor of mankind, master of humanity, and you want filthy lucre for a scalp transplant? In God Emperor's name, I demand a new hairline. And yeah,
Okay.
and let's see how that works. Let me roll for that. Jesus, give me new hair.
My prayer every night before I go to bed. Hasn't worked yet.
Keep the faith,
All
brother.
right, so we have holy crap. I really scared her with that. She truly believes that the God Emperor lives in me. I have my results were 6, 1, 6, 6, 4. So that's I'm gonna put what's her threshold for being intimidated, do you think? Because I'd like to dump the rest into that glory pool.
Since
Because I
this
have
is
3 exalted icons on that roll.
that
3 exalted icons and 1 regular icon.
okay, I'd say in this context it would probably be a 2 challenge because this is not a very valuable thing.
Okay.
So you're
So-
shifting 2 of those into
Yeah.
okay glory points. All right, so your
So
glory.
we've now got
okay,
3
so that's
die
3
in
for
the
glory.
shared pool for whenever anyone
Fantastic.
biffs it.
She
And I'm getting a
seeing-
new hairline.
So what are the rest of you doing as you're watching this happen? You see she slaps some type of paste. You're pretty sure it's the same paste you were saying that would help with the rash, whatever that is, to have the hairline stick to your scalp, and then she just starts to pluck away.
It's just
She-
KY jelly. That's all the paste is.
She looks down at you. You can tell from how she's stitching, she actually does have a lot of skill. And her hands aren't trembling despite how much of your bravado and gusto, your brimfire you put into your speech. Her hand still feels very steady. In fact, she moves pretty swift. And before you know it, you have this you have a new hairline. It itches a bit, and you feel a bit of the grease begin to seep from underneath where it's attached, along with little
Lovely.
rivulets of blood that run down your face. You're a sight to be seen, but she wipes the blood off of your face with a different scalp and hands you a mirror to look at yourself.
I look magnificent, I say. And yeah, like if I have any coins on me, I give them to her as like a tip for a job well done.
And she
I probably
refuses.
don't.
No, I could never. For someone of the holy order, the holy ecclesiarchy, I could never accept coin.
All right. At that point, I bless her free of charge, which, if you know the Ministorium, that's a big deal. They usually charge you for that. And then I ask her about the banner at the back of the shop, and I say something about that that coat of arms seems familiar. It speaks to me. It cries out to me in some strange way I can't quite describe.
She looks at you and then the rest of your people with you, and she goes, "Whoa! So a lot of you are interested in the Gofredis family? Well, they were a mighty house here. They once had a lot of influence, and yeah, they've fallen more into ruination, bad business deals. They've lost a lot of power and stature, but they used to be a very respected and wealthy house."
I commiserate with her. I'm like, dark times. Because I suspect she might actually be like of the Galifianakis family.
What are the rest of you doing? Exus, are you just standing out in the rain? Is there anything, Yannick
Just
or
resting.
Corvin, that you're wanting to engage this person on, or any nearby merchants or other things?
I'm monitoring the newer sphere for security to make sure we're not being
Wise.
tracked and make sure there's not like space marine drop pods on their way.
Yep.
All right, do you want to make a tech roll?
Yeah, I'll do that. That's 4. No. That's 4, 5, 6, and 7. No whammies, no whammies. All right, that's 2, 4, 5. 5 icons.
5 icons. All right. You are perturbed that there is a frenetic burst of various very high-level encrypted messages coming back and forth from the surface to something beyond the moon. And perhaps it's the actual planet that you are orbiting around, or maybe something in suborbit. This constant deluge makes it a little bit hard to track, but you know it can't be too far off.
There are space marines on the way.
Dope.
This is fine. This is fine. I'm going to poke my head into the tent. What is taking so? Nice hair.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, it turned out really well.
Is that the heraldry we are looking for?
Yeah, and at that point, I tell the old woman, as a matter of fact, now that my friend mentions it, the reason that seems so familiar, we're on a genealogy mission. I am descended on my great, and I go on for about a minute, grandfather's side from Brigham Young, you see, and my interest in genealogy continues, despite the Mormon Church having been banned 10,000 years ago. But the interest in the family continues, and I believe they may be an offshoot of mine. Do you happen to know where we might find the old family tomb?
She looks about as if she's weighing something in her mind. She looks over at your still bleeding scalp and says, well, that is I have a, let's say he's a guide that knows very well the boneyards, and I'm sure he could take you to their tomb if you really want to go out in this weather. She puts a hand out and pours some of the greasy rain and spritz it off.
Would this guy be Diomedes by any chance?
If you met the old scalawag, he has a way of getting everywhere.
Yeah, we as part of the genealogy expedition, we're supposed to be meeting up with him anyways. Could you point us in his direction?
Oh, okay. Well, he has a way of getting around. Just remind him. You see, he owes me that finder's fee. He'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Oh well, you can find him at his favorite watering hole, this jolly undertaker. But I see your hand. I could replace your hand with one of these fine augmentics. And she pulls out a box, and they're mostly rusty hooks with some of them are brass.
Those are better than your flesh.
On brand, nailed it.
Very good point. Yes. I'm actually using both of my hands at the moment, but I will be more than happy to come back afterwards to
If you have an extra arm, you can put the hook on an arm and put the arm on him, therefore he doesn't have to lose either of his hands.
Yeah, so a whole extra arm. Now you'll have 3.
Wait. That's bad, actually.
Sell him 2 extra arms. That way it balances out. And you can cosplay as Goro if we're ever invited to a party.
That actually might be
I
better.
understood cast him as Goro in that sentence.
I'm gonna turn around and go outside.
That's fair.
So that gray water just pours off of you, Corvin, but for a few moments you feel it stop. The clouds rumble and there's a little bit of lightning, but it stops for just a bit. You can still hear the rain kind of echoing in the distance as it still makes its way across the boneyard, and everything is just coated in gray water. You could tell that it doesn't matter what type the weather is, the crematoriums are constantly running to process the rest of the bodies that aren't fit for food or for reliquary.
Mm-hmm.
So are you heading in the direction of the Jolly Undertaker, or do you have something else in mind?
Well, I will begrudgingly wait for the rest of my party as they're trying to stitch extra arms on me.
I didn't try to stitch an extra arm on you. I took a new scalp for the team.
You
I
did.
was not trying to stitch one onto you. I was trying to get one stitched onto you. It's different. There's
Either
a
It's
way.
different.
Okay, well, pardon me.
You're forgiven.
Ugh. I will wait for them outside.
All right, and I think we're on our way to the Jolly Undertaker to
Yeah.
meet Diomedes.
So the woman points you in the direction. You can see that there is a dark corner between two large hablocks. Then there are just trails of filth in and out leading to this alleyway. You see a sign that's basically a big rusted shovel that just says Undertaker on it, and it has like a crude smiley face scratched into it.
You know,
There
of all the
are-
things I've heard described in all of the 40K books I've read, this is the first one where I've thought, like, you know, I could find a niche there. That wouldn't be so bad. Like Grave Planet, where everybody's an Undertaker? Hell yeah. Or Grave Moon, I guess. But yeah. Sorry, go on.
Oh, it gets better, because as you approach, you see that the edifice of this building is a very generous word, are made from various slabs taken from different kinds of tombs, different
Hell yeah.
sepulchres. There are two large gargoyles that are kind of plastered and shoved into the front of this, and it is just odoriferous from a distance. A lot of it's very chemical smells and just the thug of pressed, terrible, unwashed bodies.
Nice. All right, who's getting liquored up in there? I've always wondered, do the Krieg have like a drinking tube for their masks so that they can get hammered, or are they sober at all times? I
would
didn't get
have
that
to-
in the book.
From what little you guys have told me, I'm going to make for our, at least our campaign, our world's headcanon. Yes, there should be like a NASA space like suit-esque tube that they would have for like feeding and drinking, but instead of like actual sustenance, it's just like jet fuel / Everclear.
Yeah.
So it's like
Cool.
like a shot, you're pretty much legally drunk, and that's just constant.
I don't have a kidney or liver.
All right. I have a new scalp, and now you're telling me I have to drink too.
No,
Jeez.
no. I've got you. I'm with
I've
you.
got
I'm
this
with you. I'm with you.
Cool. All right. All right, we saunter in, and I think, did she give us any sort of description other than old scallywag of Diomedes?
Well, you said that you already were planning on meeting up with him.
That's right, yeah. So I guess we're just gonna have to ask around. That was poorly thought out on our part.
Well, according to the data slate, it says that we have a limited intel on a local recreant named Diomedes who may also be able to guide you. So,
Yeah. And she said old scallywag, but old can mean anybody over the age of 19 in 40K. So, and probably 19-year-olds too, now that I think about it.
Who is going into this building? Is anyone doing anything else?
Are we all going in?
Come
We're
on
all
in,
at the
John.
party.
We can
Yeah, we're all
top up your
going in.
WD-40 while we're in
Yeah,
there.
come on. We got that boost tube that we just agreed is canon.
Mm-hmm. Gets you some 1030 weight in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, and I don't think I can intimidate my way into a drink. So, drinks are on the Inquisition, which I think means on you, Kevin, as our Inquisitor.
Is that what you say when you enter?
No, God, no, no, no. That would pretty much clear the moon off.
What if I said it? Would they even understand what I said?
I hope not. Let's not do any more of that.
Kick open the door and yell surprise.
But I would mutter it. I would mutter it to Kevin on the way in when it was just the two of us. Be like, drinks are on the Inquisition this time. You know.
Fair. Fine.
Yeah. Make the company pay for it.
So it sounds like all four of you are entering.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. All right. The light here is, well, it's very dark. There are these
gonna say,
greasy tallow
poultry?
candles. That is the word I was looking for. And your eyes struggle to acclimate to the gloom, with the exception of Extaas, who I'm imagining you have a ocular implant. Actually, two of you have ocular implants.
I do too.
That's correct. So the two of you get a good
This is the
look at-
40K version of yelling, "I have dark vision."
Ouch.
In essence. So I am going to give I'll just say that you two catch it, and I will have Yannick and Father Baraqel. Why don't you roll me awareness?
Okie doke.
Awareness was 2, right? Right. Yes.
2. Come on. Hey. 3.
Damn, that's
Okay.
4 successes for me, with one of them being
Alright.
an exalted icon.
And
And
Yeah.
if three is all that's required, I'm going to shift yet another one into the glory pool,
Okay.
which again
fantastic.
sounds like the best swim up men's room stall on planet Earth.
As you all walk in here and instantly you tap into your reflexes, this place feels tense and animalistic. There is a terrible smell of something that is very much like promethium, but you're guessing is really some type of local potable, some moonshine of some kind. There is no real furniture to speak of, but shattered headstones or various things looted from tombs, like sarcophagi that are used as tables, or just piles of rubble that make for furniture. Some of the people here are just as malformed as the very slapdash innards of this place. You can tell one person as they're holding their murky glass of whatever that terrible smell is. Their hands are this upside down and backwards, like it's a reversed hand. Another
I found
person,
my home.
you have the sense of being watched, even though this person has their back turned, and you notice there's a pseudopod hanging out of their jacket with an eyeball very fixed on you.
I lean over
There-
to Father B and just say, "Mutants."
And I lean back and say, affirmative.
One of the most kind of sticking out figures is a man sitting alone in a corner with greasy, mud-soaked clothes and a wide grin of mismatched teeth,
There's our
Seems-
boy.
staring at you as you enter, and doesn't seem to be blinking, and just keeps his mouth wide open, staring at you.
That's him. I vote we just beeline right for him. I don't want to drink whatever that horrible shit is that they're serving. And I have consumed some horrible shit IRL.
It could
But if
taste.
it's
good.
cloudy, man, you don't want to drink it.
Absinthe is cloudy if prepared right, and that's delicious.
Yeah.
Ouzo,
Yeah,
another
highly
cloudy.
toxic. I don't fuck with ouzo, man. Like, yeah, I'm telling you, clear liquors only.
Hazy IPAs.
I'll I'll give you that, but that's beer. That's not a spirit, you know. Cloudy spirits, that's usually like
White
ethanol,
Russian?
you know.
I'm going to lean over to our Inquisitorial Acolyte and kind of grindingly whisper as much as I am able to.
Mm-hmm.
We are not here to deal with mutants. Do not make a scene.
Yeah. Yeah, that is important. I was thinking that Baraqel would be upset about this, but then I also thought if you're like deep cover for the Inquisition, you know not to like blow the big fish by chasing smaller fish, you know.
Also, I bet Baraqel's been like a backstreet preacher who
Oh yeah.
who has administered to me. It's like, look, I know you're a horrible freak, devoid of the Emperor's love, but that doesn't mean you can't serve the Emperor.
Yeah. Yeah, probably I could whip a whole contingent of them into battle in the Emperor's name, probably.
Yeah.
It's not like the Imperium turns down troops when the shit hits the fan, but just, you know, when things are quote unquote good. At any rate, welcome to 40K as a dystopia, not controversial, with John and Charles.
We're here too.
Yeah.
What
yeah.
is our
Alright.
toothy friend drinking over there?
Absolutely nothing. His hands are wide open, and you see that he has like one hand kind of like wrapped on a shattered, what's probably a gargoyle head or maybe some type of figure, and the other hand is clenched, is hidden kind of behind what was like a tombstone, and the names have been crossed out heavily, like gouged out.
I love it.
Okay.
Fuck those people.
He takes his one hand off the gargoyle and pulls you over. Now, is your servo skull with you, or is it about scanning and panning the city?
It's been
I'm going
sticking
to
with us
have
as
it-
far as I know. Okay, go
No,
ahead. John.
I've sent it to
Yeah.
whenever we go in a place, I have it kind of go up and scan the immediate area.
Okay.
I also have it under strict directive to, if it sees anyone who is over like 2.5 meters tall,
Yep.
Smart move.
or any contingent of Skitari heading towards us to come and get me immediately.
Yeah, that's a good precaution. I didn't even think about it, but the door could be kicked in by ceramite-clad feet any second now.
Any fucking minute, we fucked up bad.
I'm gonna look at the barkeep or whoever's tending the bar to have a couple rounds of whatever sent to the table as we make our way over there.
Cool.
Okay.
I'll let you run this one, Inquisitor. I've already got a new scalp for the night. I think I'm gonna sit over in the corner and kind of palpate it, and you know, like when you lose a tooth and like for a while you can't stop fucking with the tooth hole because it's just so new, you know.
Mhm.
Metaphor. Yeah, like so I'm palpating my scalp like, oh, that's interesting.
So a shuffling figure in a robe, and the robe barely hides the various lumps that pepper this form. You barely could even bring your word to say human. Drops off a glass into Diamond's hand and brings you the offerings at this place. The smell that's coming off this is somehow enteric and also very chemically. The odors of it just burn you, and you're not even within like it's just feet away, and you can already smell the material that's burning your innards. Do any of you take a cup of this?
I did not think we'd
I will.
run into a twist bar in this setting. That's so cool.
Could I use my filter from my gas mask to filter it?
We'll put a straw in there.
I mean, yeah. Are you asking, can you make the attempt, or will it
Yeah.
work? Those are two questions.
Yes, to both.
Well, you can try.
Okay. And what would I be rolling for that?
I'm trying to figure out mass damage.
I feel like
No,
basic skill should apply because
I think toughness would be the best thing.
Toughness is 3. That's
For a Krieg? That's weird.
all right. So 4 on my fun die, 6 on my regular die, and then that one doesn't. We don't need to talk about that. It's not the
So
worst.
3 successes. You pour the material through your intake valve, and the filter sizzles a bit as it percolates through. The smell is, well, horrifying. You were before completely inured to the smell with your gas mask, and now you get the full just blast of this. It is the distillate of open graves and chemical pits. It is the taste of embalming fluids, promethium, and some type of industrial solvent that's banned on several agro worlds.
Ah,
And
so
you,
it's CLR.
with a little bit
It's
of
the
Everclear.
lore.
It's Malort and
Yeah, but I
Everclear
like
put
Malort
together.
in real
Same
life.
here.
Ooh.
You tasting this, you can maybe surmise why everyone here is so lumpy and so mutated. This is something that they drink all the time. You feel your liver cursing you from the inside, but your very resilient innards allows you to stomach it. You feel your vision swim just a bit, and you feel like you just almost consume the memories of several dead people all clamoring and jammering at once.
I want to try fermented corpse like in real life, but I can't anymore. Oh well.
Corvin, you were going to talk with Diomedes with something. He seems very interested. He first stops to pick some type of chunk out of his drink and considers it with his
God.
fingers,
Mhm.
then eats it. And you can see some of his teeth rocking back and forth in his gums as he digests it.
Oh, beautiful.
He stops for a second, pulls into his mouth, pulls out a tooth, realizes it's upside down, and puts it the correct direction in. Finishes his drink, puts his glass down, and snaps his fingers. What can I do for you, boys? As he says that, saliva just runs out of his mouth.
This guy's great.
Well, a little bird told us that you might be able to guide us to the Galfredus Mausoleum for a tour.
Tour? Do I look like a tour guide?
From all the people I've seen here, yes.
I don't know if I should be incited or I mean insulted or flattered by that. But
Let's go with flattered.
okay.
And I'm
So-
gonna take a pull off my drink because obviously if he can stomach it, why can't I?
Oh, good God.
He watches you as a man judges another man by how hard they squeeze each other's hands. Make me your toughness check.
Absolutely, sir.
May the God Emperor guide you on your way, my son.
That's 2 successes or 2 icons.
You're
Okay.
fucked.
It burns, and you hold your face, but you feel it burning raw dog through your body. Unlike someone who has a filter to protect it, you have the full just measure of this content, and you take a point of corruption.
Oh boy. Where do I stick that
tracks.
point?
That is under your traits column. It is 5th up from the bottom on the right.
That's a mutation measure, right?
If you get so many of those points, you start getting like actual ranks and corruption that then makes you more
Ooh.
susceptible to fell warp things, mutations, and leads you down the dark path. Yeah.
Oh.
All right, so I'll give
He-
a little wince. Smooth. Anyways,
He smiles, charming, smooth.
mhm.
Ah, you're a terrible liar, but I like the cut of your jib. So a tour, you say? Well, what is the what's in this for me?
What are you looking for?
He looks around here. I'm a man of modest means, and I have about anything that I could really want here. I mean, if you want to get me something interesting, I like
Is this Team
interesting.
Ledger's Gravedigger, by the way?
I love him.
I'm
It's
in.
really good.
Well, I want one of those fancy servo skulls that they have in the that they make in that factory, or the ones that prowl the upper gantries of the library.
Got some bad news for Ham Fund XB.
Servo skull.
Do
huh?
we, or do we have a Patsy?
You know, that's a good point.
Extaas.
All of this is communicated in looks, by the way. You can seriously
Yeah.
do that with looks. Like, give it up, and then the other person looks back like, or we kill him.
Extaas clears his. Extaas makes it a screeching modem noise, which is his version of clearing his throat.
The
And
whole
if we
bar
were-
stops and looks at you.
It is called being subtle. Look it up.
The
So you are saying
tension in this place is just increasing as you realize everyone here, maybe with the exception of Diomede, at least you're not sure, is decidedly a twist or a mutant, and you are.
Like I said, twist bar. We're in the wrong part of town.
But
I'm fine. I'm not any more human than they are.
That's a very
But-
good point,
But they
Extaas.
don't like you any more than they like humans.
Extaas, you're about to make your proposition, and I had to cut you off.
So I want to be clear and honest with each other. If we furnish you with a servo skull, you will take us to our query.
Is that a question or a statement?
They are one and the same, affirmative or negative.
Well, if that's yeah, you have an interesting way of doing business, but yeah, that's affirmative. And he chuckles to himself.
Agent, shake his hand. Seal the deal.
All right, I'll take the last pull of the drink and I'll put my hand out there and I'll shake it.
Exodus reaches up and snaps, calling the servo skull back to him.
His hand is uncomfortably clammy, most lonely because you know he was fishing around in his drink and in his mouth, and you feel your skin crawling. You're not sure
That
if
was a
anything
chunk
is.
of human fat he ate. Make no mistake about it. That's what was in that drink.
So the
Man, I want
skull.
this bar to be a real place so bad.
I'm pretty sure probably somewhere in San Francisco you can find it.
Cool. I gotta go looking.
So the servo skull floats over, and how does this transaction end?
I am going to reprogram the servo skull to recognize Mr. Gravedigger as its owner. I'm also going to wipe its memory of our existence from it.
Smart.
And I'm also going to suggest that we upload the information from the data slate to the servo skull, which has always been owned by Mr. Gravedigger.
That's a really, really good plan, actually. A really good plan.
So, do you want me to roll for
So
that?
to parse what John's saying, we're giving this guy a servo skull that doesn't show us existing, but shows him as having all the illegal alien schematics that are
Yeah.
like that the
Exactly.
space- yeah, okay. That's brilliant. That's
and we're
brilliant.
giving him the skull first before he takes us there, or
Yeah, I
The
mean, we're
spurs-
giving it
yeah.
as payment, yeah, but
Okay.
also in case the
But
heat comes
also
down.
to
Yeah.
get the Skitarii off our tail.
Yep. The first time he hooks that thing into anything, he's
Kevin, do you want me to roll? Ian, do you want me to roll for this attempt of technology?
Yes, go ahead.
It's a pretty easy check for you. If you want to just make a roll and just don't get a 1 on your raft die, that should be sufficient.
I did not get a 1 on my raft die.
Yeah. Okay. Then you were able
And I
to
got
meet-
successes. It's not a.
Oh, absolutely. You only really roll if there's a really significant chance of failure, and I only wanted that raft die just since you were handling some sensitive information.
Sure.
That's the only thing I wanted to see. So,
The
so
complication would have been he's a member of the Inquisition, by the way.
Hey, I mean, anyone could be a member of the Inquisition.
Yep.
No one expects. So,
And
I mean,
even those who aren't agents of the Inquisition, it's like the Soviet police state. Like people inform on each other to save themselves from the Inquisition all the time. So
Yep.
even those who aren't directly agents of the Inquisition, unless they are actual criminals, are probably like narking on anyone they can to them. Which is why actual criminals are the best people in 40K.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we do. We give ownership what was it? Hamfund
Hamfund
XB, the Patsy
Mhm.
bot, over to our friend.
But first we rename him Hamfun Triple XB.
So there you go.
Do we really feel right giving away a ham fund?
Yes.
He's right. Let's just name him Triple XB. Yeah.
since you have made a shrewd business arrangement with Diomedes, he stretches, and you hear various things cracking and crunching in him as he writes himself, takes you over through a series of back alleys the entire time. You can hear him slurping his saliva back into his mouth,
He's just a
Muttering.
human pig knuckle.
muttering to himself about something about what he's going to do with the skull. In fact, he doesn't let it fly around. He just shoves it in his pocket, and the poor thing keeps trying to right its grab engines, and he just keeps shoving it back in the pocket, and it seems to give a squeal of discomfort in binaric. The machine
Aw.
spirits are very displeased within it, but he is completely oblivious to it. After a meandering amble through these back alleys, he takes you to a car, like an actual Prometheum fueled car. It looks like you had severed 2 to 4.5 various hearse-like contrivances and stapled and riveted them together in odd angles.
I
It
want
is
one.
a terrible, ugly beast, and you can tell that this is a vehicle that has seen a lot of use, probably for ferrying bodies and equipment used in burial, but also probably a lot of back alley deals by Diomedes.
Instead of a Cybertruck, it's a semi-truck.
I love it. He hops in. He shoves a bunch of crap out of the car, just dumping tons of garbage that's just terrible smelling.
Liquor
Kicks
bottle.
open one of the doors and says, "Get in."
I call shotgun.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, I'll move that. And he moves the shotgun out of the way, then pats the seat.
All right, fine.
I call not the middle seat. Yeah. I
Can
call
fit
window
in
seat.
this car?
I'll stretch out in the back if I have to.
You guys are usually pretty bendy when you want to be.
I got the big like spider legs though.
Yeah, but can't you fold them up like a dainty little,
Yeah, Darth Maul folded them up. Why can't you?
I mean, okay, I'm
Clone
actually
Wars.
gonna
Never
pull
mind.
John.
I never watched
John,
it.
I'm gonna pull cannon on you.
Let's maybe
in-
keep the
Okay,
lore ex-
okay. Yeah. All right. All I'm saying is, in one of the books, a big ass cyber witch who works for the Dark Mechanicum, who's like 8 feet long or something, squeezes herself into a tiny duct like a spider in a drain, and then unfolds all of her
I
mechanical
am pretty
limbs.
spidery. Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure that it was kosher. All right,
Yeah.
I squeeze into the back. Mechandendrites, a mechano arm, and all my spindly legs every which way.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Deeply unsettling.
So he kicks the vehicle to life. In fact, does actually have to do a lot of kicking, and you hear some types of pipes rattling and gurgling as it makes this very throaty cough and hooting sound as the engines eventually turn over, kicking up big gouts of black soot.
Are we
Almost in
sure he's not an orc?
In response to it, the rain comes back, and with a fervor, it just begins to hammer the top of this, making conversation very difficult. Maybe thankfully, at least you don't hear the slurps as much as he begins to gun the vehicle into the necropolis. The necropolis is just a jumble of various it is junkyards. It are graveyards. They are cities that have fallen to ruination, and you have plowed them haphazardly and stuck graves all over them. There are spiraling towers where constant mourn wailers that are blasting out doleful lamentations. There are maybe packs of ghouls that are tearing through open graves. You're not sure. There are tons of scenes. There is. We'll just do a quick montage. We could spend a long time with interesting encounters in this, but the fact that you're able to ride this vehicle bypasses all of that. So as a quick 15-second bit of montage, as you're looking out the window, what is a strange scene that you were seeing in relationship to this terrible, gloomy weather, or these just the graveyard aspect?
Children playing ball with inflated stomach organs tied up.
Like tetherball with it?
Yeah, that tetherball works because then you don't have to cut it. You blow up one end, you tie the rest of the lower intestine to the
Whimsical.
pole. Yeah.
Got good texture when you punch it. It's not too hard, like a tether
Yeah.
ball.
It's not dried out all
Um,
the way yet, so it's still
Mine
Right.
involves the very worst thing that 40K ever created. As we're going through the graveyard, we happened to pass another factory similar to the one where the servo skulls are being manufactured that makes cherubim. And for those of you who are not 40K nerds, are they organic or robotic or both? They're little children that are like cybernetic that float because they have grab things in them like servo skulls, and like giggle and blow trumpets and announce like important people and creepy shit like that. And like sure enough, who works
They're
the
made of
factory?
babies.
Other cherubs. So you see like cherubs making cherubs in this factory, and some deep part of my like primitive ape brain stirs and thinks like that won't end well. Yeah.
There is a line of penitents, probably 300 people long, each going 3 people wide, whipping themselves in the back, leading a long trail of blood, screaming the name of various imperial saints as they march to their own mass grave to sacrifice themselves to the God Emperor and his saints.
That's almost just rural Spain and Portugal with Catholics right now, except for the mass grave thing.
Corvin, did you have one?
For some reason, a food truck keeps popping into my head, but
That's fair. That's fair.
Well, grave diggers have to eat as well.
well, but that's the thing, that they're resupplying the food truck with the corpses as well. So
Yep.
yeah, processing it like sausage, and put it in the casing that's
awesome,
not being used
yeah.
for tetherball. Yeah.
That is a callback to the beginning of this, where you were in a pile of corpses that were destined to make corpse starch. So the cycle repeats.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't slab made out of corpses? We find out at some point in the lore. Slab is like the spam of 40k. It's like it's the meat that is served in every hab block and like every spire below a certain level. It's the only protein source, and everyone in the spire who dies is like reprocessed into slab. So like it's kind of literally Soylent Green that like most people live on in these spires. It's fucked up.
Hey, from hab to slab.
That's right, baby.
The entire time that you're seeing the scene unfold through the windows, Diomedes is talking to you, just constantly babbling, pointing out things about various people who have died or things he's looted from tombs. And most of the time, thankfully, again, you really can't hear him over the sound of the engine and the storm. But after a while, he stops muttering and he just gesticulates wildly at this imposing, almost fortress that you're looking at. The monsoon is still just dumping sheets of water across this, but it does nothing to take away from this 20-meter high walled fortress, it looks like. From beyond it, you can see the tops of a large crypt complex and the large rusted crest of the Gelfradus family by the gates. He kills the engine, and then you can hear him starting to talk again. He goes, and that's everything I know about the Gelfradus family, and I'm glad we had a good arrangement, but this is your stop. Get out.
I don't have a question for him before we part ways, but I do have one for you, Ian. Like, is this guy staying hydrated? I worry about him because there's got to be like pints of drool just leaving him every minute, and your body needs, nourishment and hydration. I just worry about him. That's all.
I'm more concerned about the hearse that we rode in. Slav is slightly acidic, and with the amount of drool that he's secreting, the floorboards of the hearse are toast.
Guys, I have bone conducting headphones on, so I tried to block out the sound of Ian slurping, and it just made it so much louder.
Oh man.
No.
If someone could isolate just that sound for ASMR purposes for me, I would appreciate it.
I mean, it probably sounds worse with this cheap headset instead of the nice, fancy one that I bought. I'm gonna get I'm gonna get a better mic setup after honeymoon. I'm gonna do that.
So
That's
John,
fair.
with your bone channeling headset, who does the best slurping noise?
Yeah, let me try too.
We definitely need to put a trigger warning for people with.
Can we just watch John's head explode?
Misophobia or whatever it is. Misophonia, I think.
All right, so I get out of the
that's
car.
word.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm out of there already. Like that guy, I don't even bless him on the way out. I'm just like, see you later.
I get out and go to the driver's side door, and I surreptitiously hand him a vial of machine oil. Like, make sure you take good care of XP1. He is a good boy. He enjoys cuddles and making maps and prayers to the Omnissiah.
He takes the flask
That's horrible.
and nods, and then just downs it.
I knew it. My man. This guy's awesome.
That's good as well.
Spicy.
Spicy.
I'll leave.
Top 10 NPC, Ian.
Well, thanks. So you are outside of this giant walled. Again, fortress is the best word compared to everything else that you've passed. A 20-meter high wall is a little almost overkill, you would almost feel, but you know this was once a very wealthy family. You can see that there are various crypts that are peeking above this line of various size, different people of different stature having their own crypt within this complex. How do you plan to get in here, as you see the gates are pretty well rusted from all of this persistent rain?
Oh, I think I got something that can help with that. It's loud.
I have machine oil, which is in fact WD-40.
I was talking about my chain sword. I could probably chain sword that gate open.
I mean, we heard
If it's
that
rusty.
it's rusted. Like, have we
Yeah.
tried just giving it a nice like shove
Kick?
or kick, or
That'd be
just
our first step, I would
yell
think.
surprise?
I
Well,
have
get in there, Bane.
Yeah.
What is my? I could try to pull it open with my machine arm.
Yeah, your servo arm would probably
Yeah.
make short work of that. I don't know what skill that would be. Just a strength test? Or...
Yeah.
Are you trying to force it, or are you trying to destroy it?
Yeah. I get
okay.
+4 strength when I'm
First-
using my servo arm. So
Guys,
if I try to
let's-
force it open.
Let's try. Can we try the obvious first and just see if it's locked?
Mm.
Yes. Yes, we can.
Let's just try to push it open.
Okay.
Wait,
It is. Sorry.
We turn the knob and then push
Yes.
it open.
Yeah.
And then we try and
Okay.
pull it. That doesn't work.
We tried to open it as the
It is locked. You're pretty
Alright.
sure that maybe that key that was hanging off of that woman's belt, maybe it goes to
I
this
told you chuckleheads to steal it, but I don't have a sleight of hand stat, or I would have tried it while I was getting my scalp stitched on.
I thought you were.
Yeah, I did too.
I couldn't
Yeah.
find the skill for it. I don't even know how I do that in this game. Steal.
agility
Agility?
Wow.
Fuck.
or
Yeah, I
cunning.
should have figured. Oh well. Next time, guys. Sticky fingered priest. Next time.
I didn't know
Yeah.
you could steal in 40K.
It's all
yeah,
you
all
do,
the damn
really.
time. Yeah. Well, not when you're wargaming. Like that's most of the. But in some of the RPGs and so forth, yeah.
I would like to try to force the door.
Okay. Go ahead and make me a strength check.
So my strength is only 1, but I'm using my servo arm. So do I roll 5?
Wait, yeah. If it's, hold on, I will double check your character sheet. I believe so. Let me
It
just-
says you gain +4 strength when using the arm.
yes. So
Yeah.
then that would be a
Okay.
total of 5 strength.
Okay. Well, shit. Only one icon.
Okay. Did you have a wrath failure?
No, my wrath dice was at 2, so it's okay, just not great.
All right. Who else is strong?
So you begin to thump on this gate, and nothing on the other side seems to react. But with this rain, it's hard to really see above this 20-foot wall and also here beyond it.
My strength is a 3. I can also whop on it,
Yeah, you might have better success than I did.
I mean, it can't hurt, right?
Yeah.
Other
Now,
than-
keep
That
in
does.
mind for perspective, you're trying to push or kick open 20-meter rusted gate that's locked in a rainstorm.
Okay, can we pick the lock? What skill in this game engine would we
Stealth.
use for lock picking?
Stealth.
Stealth.
It'd be
Okay.
it would be a difficulty 5 stealth check.
Okay, let me find stealth.
I'm
can
not
roll
very
4
stealthy,
dice.
my
You
friends.
also have 4 in your glory as well.
Okay.
All right,
Um,
guys.
We've got
I haven't.
those extra dice though. I could roll 4 dice, and in theory, we could get this. And then, like, if I could steal some points, maybe.
Extaas kind of pulls his Omnissiah axe over his shoulder
Yeah, I was gonna
do
say
have
I
another
also have a
option.
chain sword. We could
Yeah.
give a go.
Yeah.
That's a
Let's get-
5D pool for my weapon skill.
First
with that
combat
bad
in
boy.
40k is going to be against a door, and that's hilarious.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it is 60 meters tall. But Ian, how
40.
the thing 40?
I mean,
Okay.
20. Sorry, 20.
20.
Sorry, I was
Okay, so
thinking of the
that's
conversion.
meters. That's about 60 feet. That's how I got that mixed up.
Yeah, that's what I
So
meant.
like, but the lock is probably at like human height where they can unlock it, right? So all we've got to do is get through the locked portion, and we should be able to just push it open, right?
That is a good point.
So let
Okay.
me just hack this mother scratcher with my chain sword. I've been dying to use one of these.
Okay. Well,
Oh, right. Yeah, I'm gonna have at that rusty gate with my chain sword.
okay. Then
All right. Let's see how this goes. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. And threes are successes, or is it just fours, fives, and sixes?
4s, 5, and 6.
4s, 5s are one icon, and then 6s, 2 icons or an exalted icon.
Well, shit. My weak little priest arms fail me, and the chain sword flies from my hands and clatters off the gate, but
What-
thankfully does not wound me.
How many
I didn't
icons?
I only got one icon out of 5, and thankfully I didn't biff my wrath die, so I just kind of made a fool of myself. I
Well,
didn't cut my
you-
arm off or whatever.
Well, you needed, it has a defense of 1, so you would have
Oh.
technically struck it.
So forget the wimpy priest arms. I just I hi-ya my way through a very weak lock.
Well, I need to know how much damage you've done. So,
Oh, that's right, because it's okay. So I had a question about that.
okay.
One of the traits of this weapon is brutal. Adds +1 to ED results. Is it that end damage?
That's extra damage. So when
Okay,
you are,
gotcha.
so your chainsaword does
Damage is
8
8.
damage, and then you have 4 ED, or you have 4 ED. In
Four
this
extra
case, it would
damage.
be
+5 to extra damage. So that's like what,
So-
13 points total?
well, hold up, let me finish. So what you do is you roll 4 dice, and
Ah,
you treat those as icons. So if you get a 4 or 5, that's 1 extra damage. A 6 is 2 extra damage, and because it's
Gotcha.
brutal, you're getting +1 on each of those dice. So the chance of you getting more damage is pretty wild.
so my total dice is 3. Gotcha, and I add 1 to each result. The more I use this system, the more I'm kind of fond of it.
It's not bad.
Mhm.
Well, okay, I have 1 exalted icon, and I didn't biff my wrath, so that's 2 successes.
Okay, so you have 2 extra damage then. So then your damage from your chainsword is 10.
Nice.
Okay. I'm going to say that the resilience of this lock is probably going to be let's say it's probably 5, because it's probably armor protected, and it probably has 5 wounds. So you chew through half of this lock, and it's making a very loud sound as you are just driving your chainsword into it. The rest of you make a awareness check. And I'm going to say this is a pretty difficult awareness check because of the storm and the chainsword. So the difficulty is 4.
Oh boy.
This is to see what's sneaking up to kill our asses. I predict.
3, 4.
I got 4.
Okay.
I got
Hooray.
2, or I got a 6 on the wrath die, and then everything else was 2s and 3s. So
Yeah, that's 2.
Okay. Then, since you got the 6 on your wrath die, I will let you. So you get 1 point of glory for the pool. So that's now 5.
okay.
You're check is not successful, but you are just aware to the fact that Extaas seems to be cognizant of something. Extaas, above the sound of the chainsword, you detect the sounds of binaric chattering, and you know that a bunch of combat servitors on the other side of this are cued in and have hummed to life. They are aiming some type of weapons in the direction of the gate in response to the intrusion.
You guys see Extaas slowly back away from
Oh, you douchebag.
the lock. I would back away from the door. There are combat droids ready to fire on us.
Yeah. I immediately stopped sawing at the lock and backed the hell away.
When you listen to it, there are 10 gun servitors at different points. You're not sure how many are immediately on the other side of the gate. You just know that there is some type of perimeter defense that had been set up.
Well, let me see. Can I binary chatter? Oh, actually, did we get through the lock? Like, if I tried to open the door, could I at this point?
It's halfway sawn through, so with a kick, he probably could.
Ian, I have the Rite of Shroud Psalm, which means I am invisible to Auspice, Pick Thieves, and Monoscopes.
Whoa, cool!
How do gun droids see, Ian?
The question: are you wanting to open up the gate, or are you wanting to climb over it?
You think actually?
A gate opening on its
legs.
own might trip their motion sensors, so spidering your way over that bad lad while invisible to all. Luckily, with my bio eyes, I can see you. That's creepy. That's a creepy power to have in 40K.
All right.
It's also, by the way, the one superpower I would have. I finally figured it out in real life.
My agility is fucked. Like, I don't think I could climb. As nice as that is, I think I'm just going to try to wait. Oh, okay. Man. Okay.
Did you
I'm going to.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm going to attempt to look on the North sphere towards these gun droids, and see the master. The node that is communicating to all the others. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right.
You can trace it back to a service panel on one of the sides of this complex.
All right. I am going to use my mind impulse unit to converse with that machine spirit and tell it to stand down.
All right. Go ahead and make your tech check. And you have +2 to your binary chatter.
Yep, that's good God. So that's 8 total.
Okay, so you get them to stand down.
Oh, no. Sorry, I mean, I roll 8 total. That's 4, that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 successes.
Okay.
Damn.
That
I rolled
is...
a lot of 6s that time.
You, at this point, could even program to open the gate for you or blast it open the rest of the way.
I told them to open the gate for us.
From that, you're able to also deduce the cyber security protocols that are guarding the various tomb structures, and you're able to find the specific crypt that you are looking for.
Jesus.
Nicely done, sir.
Well done.
Yeah, man.
That was awesome.
I went brute
I
force
stepped
when
back.
We should have gone cunning. Yeah.
I stepped back to the door and hold up my hand to my others. 1 moment, please. And then the gates open behind me, and the security droids are welcoming us in.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I know which way to go now.
So, Augustus, feel free.
I know that you don't appreciate like a clap on the shoulder as a comradely gesture, being a tech priest, but
please do not touch me.
I compliment you on the high efficiency and extreme capability of your actions in this maneuver.
Thank
the
you.
Augustus Galfredus tomb is a small tower at the rear of this complex, this necropolis. You can see that the keystone of the arch that forms this entryway is a large gargoyle. If you hadn't already deactivated the gun servitor, it would be blasting you from hidden within inside the gargoyle's mouth, but it just stands at attention as Extaas comes near. The way into this tomb is unlocked. You can see the lock has been deactivated once you had hacked into the system. Yannick or Corvin, with your more soldier-like instincts, is there any preparations you want to do before entering in this crypt? Or how do you want to approach this?
Let me
I
see if
personally
should
would.
pray or anything.
I'd be pulling out my my bolt pistol just to be safe, and checking down as we're going down the corridor, checking down any cross corridors, make sure nobody's going to ambush us.
So far, you don't think that you've been followed into this place, and now that Extaas has deactivated those servitors, you have a good feeling that you aren't being followed.
Nobody's taken any injuries, right?
None yet that you're aware of. Although I will say, like, Baraqel, your head still itches. Like, it's starting to itch more and more the more you're wearing the scalp.
Oh, I'm well aware that that shit's infected. I'll try and deal with that later. We've got bigger problems for the moment. Like, once we get the Xena's artifact, I'll get this horrible shit like taken off my head. Provided it's not an acute problem before then. Who has the highest Medicae in our group skill?
Probably
Mine's
me.
only one.
I got one.
Before we proceed, can I have you like disinfect
Yeah,
my
before.
head?
Well, you're standing in the middle of pouring rain, so you may want to
Okay,
get
yeah.
into a place for...
Let's get to shelter, and then if you wouldn't mind, like disinfecting my stitched together. And by the way, I think this is a very strong look for a Ministorium priest. I've decided that I have 2 Aquila tattoos now since they slightly overlap. So like, I look like a stitched together monster priest, and it's awesome. Yeah, like let's get inside, and you can fix my head, and then we'll do the thing.
All right.
All right. Who's taking point?
Unfortunately, probably me. I'm not happy
You're
about
kind of
it,
a
but
tank,
I was
yeah.
leading the way.
All right. Then
You
go ahead.
also are invisible to yeah.
Yeah, to robots.
All right. So you're opening the door to the crypt and entering.
Yes,
Yep.
I am.
The inside of the crypt is damp and unlit, but you're able to see pretty well with your augmentic eye, you and Corvin. The rest of you notice that it's definitely the corpse gray light here does not penetrate well, but you can see that a staircase winds down through this tower, both up and down, but upstairs is collapsed and the rain is just sluicing off of the steps. There are little stubs of melted candles on the staircase winding down into the ground.
Does anyone have a lighter?
No.
Yeah, they're not a common item in 40K that I've read.
Got a laser gun. That's kind of like a lighter, but ranged and more.
Yeah, I don't know if you
lethal.
could light a candle with one. I'm not sure.
I have an Omnispecs, so, but it's built into my body, so probably not very
Yeah,
helpful to you.
we'll
I have
just
a
have to
mess
go-
kit. One could argue that there's a lighter in the mess kit.
Oh, I have a combi tool. That's like the multi-tool? It might have a torch on it.
Yeah,
Ian,
let's.
I'll let you make the arbitration whether my combi tool has a light on it.
I would say, for the sake of this, that seems like it probably would.
Okay.
So we're talking flashlight or like a lighter light?
It's
Flashlight.
Yeah, it's enough to light the way.
Yeah. Okay. Good. All right. Cool. Fix my head real quick if you don't mind.
Fine.
Otherwise, I'm gonna wind up with nergolitis, and you know how that
Those,
ends. Inevitably
2.
awesome.
Okay. 3. I got 3.
What,
Okay.
I was
what are
watching
you?
the wrath die spin, like, oh no.
What are you rolling?
Medicaid.
Fix my head. He's rolling his
So-
Medicaid school.
You can see where Father Baraqel has been scratching, especially in the
Mhm.
back. And the stitching is actually done pretty well. Like
Nice.
the surgical almost. And it looks like it's probably going to get infected, but it's not bad now. But do you notice that there's something underneath the skin flap? Like there's like a little bit of a lump.
Oh, I bet there's spiders in there. Cool.
No, it's probably a tracker, ding dong.
Oh yeah, that too.
I'm going to tell him to get on his knees.
Anytime you ask, John Baltisberger, I just dropped to my
And
knees.
I say, this will hurt.
Yeah,
And I'm going to pull it up and see what's under there.
John knows my love language. Yeah.
Get on your knees. This is going to hurt is more than a little suggestive, I guess.
Yeah. What do you find under there?
Well, it is a tracker.
Fuck that lady. I knew she was bad news, and yet I let her sell me a shiny new scalp.
Can I remove it without killing the
Please.
priest?
Oh yeah,
probably.
it's just like a little tag. There's a little tracker tag.
He sewed a
I'm
new
going
scalp
to-
on top of my old scalp, so it was like between 2 layers of skin.
Oh man, I wonder if I can get a gun servitor to hunt her down. No,
Oh.
that's probably too mean.
But we could
or
attach
is-
this
I am going to take it and attach it to the gargoyle sentry above the tomb.
Okay.
good places any, although it lets them know where we are. If we could find some small verminous animal and hook it to that, that might be even better.
It lets them know where we were.
Yeah,
So,
true.
Yannick, since you are the soldier of this group, you wanting to take point, or what are you doing in this scenario?
Just here hanging out. Everyone seems to be having a good time, and I can't see anything.
He's a
but
Krieg.
there's
He's
a light.
cleaning his gun.
There's the light, though. I mean, from what I recall, my character's entire planet's basically like born to like enlist and die. So like go first, shoot first, yell surprise when you enter a room, and ask questions later if there's anyone to ask questions of.
You're not suicidal. They're very specific about that. It's that like a Krieg's job is to be used until they die to like make up for the great shame that their planet endured or was responsible for, or whatever the fucked up Krieg thought process is. So yeah, totally you'd be at the front if you had the eyes for it. I don't think I've ever read a story where the Krieg like weren't at the front in the heaviest part of the shit.
So, are you going to be heading downstairs then?
You said that the tower had fallen down and that the upstairs wasn't really up anymore. So
That's correct.
That leaves us with down.
I'm guessing that that's also like underground is more secure for an artifact than up in some tower, you know.
Absolutely. The steps are slick and just grimy with algae and mud having grown on it. And at first you almost begin to slip. But Yannick, since you are familiar with trench warfare, you're able to just definitely go down these stairs. A lot of you, I'm assuming, also go down.
Yeah.
And you find yourself in a narthex, a circular chamber about 30 meters in diameter, and there's a sarcophagus at the center of the room.
Open the door and yell surprise.
Seems
No one
fair.
wants to go with this
I'm going
idea.
to-
so
I am with
fail.
you 100%.
I am going to use my Omnispecs to scan for any kind of traps.
Okay.
Can I
So
do that
where are
too?
you explicitly looking?
In the tomb. But I believe you mean like in an area of the tomb. I'm looking on the path from the door to the sarcophagi
Okay.
and at the sarcophagi itself.
Then
The sarcophagi?
roll me a awareness. It is a 3 difficulty.
Okay. Booyah! That is 5 successes.
You notice when you open this door, the water from the stairs floods in, and it goes across the center of this chamber, and the water begins to drip through cracks in the stone floor, and you hear it dripping on something far below.
Well, that seems not great for us personally.
With your Omni Tools light, as you look around, you see that the walls in this place were at one point like murals. There are carvings of Imperial heroes on the walls with wicked saints, oversized Imperial warriors raising their blades high, and hundreds of intricately carved worshippers praying before the Emperor's light.
Have they been desecrated?
Nope. Looks pretty
Okay.
untouched in here.
All right, checks out.
Who has the highest agility?
Oh God, help me. Let me look at my sheet.
Do you
What kind
guys
of
ask
nimble
these
beast?
questions in real life when you're hanging out?
Yes.
I need to mow the lawn. Who has the greatest fortitude? Like,
Mm-hmm.
When you're
No,
at
I
sword
literally
fighting
do
practice, yes,
sometimes.
this is a common question.
Kevin,
Yes, sir.
as a man who's about to get Kevin, goddamn Ian, as a man who's about to get married, those are real conversations you have when it comes to chores. Like,
no, that's fair.
like I'll be like, "Hey, we need a yard work," and I'll be like, "It is bright, and I am pale. You
Yeah.
have
That is-
you have a higher melanin stat than I do."
I stand
Um,
corrected.
Let's see. So agility, my agility's not great too.
I got a 3, so take that.
Well, get in there,
Okay,
big
so
boy.
what are we doing? Let's
Whatever I'm
Going across
told.
the floor,
hold
sending
up, just
someone down there to like walk, and someone who can like jump back into safety if this floor starts to crumble is my thought.
Or if there's some sort of horrible menace waiting to eat us alive.
Or if there are like letters on the floor that you have to step on a certain pattern to spell a word, otherwise you crack the floor and fall to your death.
And
It
it
could
was
be
in
any of
Greek,
those.
not Latin, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
so what would you like to do?
Well, being the person with the highest agility, apparently, I yell Leroy Jenkins, and I no, I would
Jenkins.
yes, I proceed with caution, and I go to find the MacGuffin.
Okay. You walk on the floor, nothing happens. Do you open the sarcophagus?
Yeah, I go up there, I knock 3 times on the sarcophagus if it loves me.
It gives you no answer.
Oh, rejection.
That's too bad.
All right, well, excuse me, Dr. Acula, your appointment is here.
Do you opening the sarcophagus?
Yeah.
Okay. So you open it and you see that there's a skeleton dressed in relatively modest imperial finery. Clothing.
I turn
Okay.
over to everyone. I was like,
Hey guys, is this what we're looking for?
and I
I'm
I
gonna
glaze
slide
down.
on down there and join him.
Yeah. Same.
I
Now,
do not.
I have a pretty high insight, so I'm going to inspect this. Describe it again. It's a skeleton wearing pretty good garments. Is the metallic orb in sight in the sarcophagus?
Insight is going to be more of like dealing with social things, kind of like social deduction. Investigation is going to be more piecing things together or researching.
Yeah, I'm asking if it was
Right,
part of the. I
correct,
tuned
I was-
out a little bit during the skeleton description.
I was just trying to clarify the skills in case you needed to use them at
Yeah,
some
no,
point.
no.
You do not see an orb here,
Okay.
unless you're
All right.
are you manipulating or rifling through the skeleton?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and shake those bones all around.
Okay. All right. And you start to jumble around, and there's nothing in here. It just
Oh,
kind of
shit.
falls apart, and it has an odd number of bones. Like it's kind of mismatched, like sundry bones. As you're kind of standing or all kind of gathering around this, one of the stones beneath your feet falls into what sounds like a space below. As you rifle around, you realize that the skeleton is fake. This is a composite. The bones themselves seem to be decomposing in a way that is not quite non-natural. Another stone falls from beneath your feet, splashing into the chamber below. You hear an echo, and you know that the space below is just as large as the space above. As above, so below, ? Would perhaps the relic be down there? And if so, what horrors really wait for you if so far your passage has been unchallenged?